because this webinar is being conducted after such a long time, 7th July. Yeah, earlier one was 7th July, and today is 12th August. So there are number of people have seen, no doubt about it. A number of people have seen about it. Out of 92, 87 have seen. But the presence you can see yourself, only 6 are present. Now, just now there were 7, and now there are 6. But anyway, we will start 30 and share the recording because
Yes.
it was not my fault also. But the thing is that it is my responsibility to share the recording and certificate. But अगर कहीं से query आ गई किसी की कि whether such and such person attended or not, then I will raise my hands. No, thank you. What to do now?
So there are 5.
I have also got limitations. No, मैं अगर गलत yes कर दूंगा दे से कि documentary proof दे दीजिए, and I am not able to present any document, then certainly my organization, my business will be gone zero.
बिनती ला लाऊं आज तो कोई भी नहीं है क्योंकि हमारा बहुत पुराना वेबिनार है ना, कोई भी नहीं है। 7 लोग हैं बेचारे, उनके लिए मैं इन सब अपने वालों को तो मैसेज करती हूँ। Basically, it is only 5. One is the host and the other is the co-host.
Oh yes, 5.
Only 5 are actually attending.
क्या करें मैम, शुरू करें? मीना जी गुड इवनिंग। क्योंकि मैं भी देखता हूँ कि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स द टीचर्स आर कमिंग ओवर हियर मेजॉरिटी फॉर द सर्टिफिकेट पर्पस, not for the purpose of growth. Pranitha,
Good evening, sir. Can you hear?
Pranitha,
Good evening, sir. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, well, quite good, bacha. After 23 days, at least there is one person who doesn't know me face to face, but asking for my health. And throughout 23 days, Nivedita ma'am, she was in touch with me. Pranitha Bhagyanagar, no?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I was worried, but I said how to call you.
नहीं मैम, मैं WhatsApp पे भी नहीं आ रहा था. I just used
yes.
to open and see the important messages, and then my daughter was there because she also rushed back. मुंबई छोड़ के यहाँ पे आ गई मेरे पास रहने के लिए, क्योंकि मम्मी कैसे देखेंगी आपको, तो I will be with you in the hospital. She used to see कि डैडी इनका 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 है. मैंने कहा मैसेज पढ़ दो, कुछ है तो मैं बता देता हूँ, you write it. मैडम यही होती है लड़कियों और लड़कों में फर्क.
yes.
लड़का कहेगा कि डैडी मैं कुछ पैसा वैसा भेज दूं, कुछ अरेंजमेंट करवा दूं, लेकिन लड़की खुद भागी चली आई कि नहीं, आई विल बी देयर, आई हैव टू बी देयर.
Yes, true.
चलिए मैडम शुरू करते हैं. 32 हो गए हैं. देयर इज नो फन वेटिंग टाइम बिकॉज देयर आर, गुड इवनिंग मीना जी, गुड इवनिंग वेरी मच, बिकॉज देयर आर दीज पीपल हु आर.
So you okay now?
Fine, very much fine ma'am, thank you very much, thank you for asking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this webinar on rubrics for internal assessment. You see, basically first thing arises assessment. नाम से हमको घबराहट होती है as a teacher, and why it is so is because assessment generally word जो है थोड़ा सा डरावना है. Most of the times we think यार assessment throughout year, oral assessment, chalk and board assessment, then class test, then terminal, half yearly, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. कितना आता है? But this assessment is very much helpful for you people to understand basically the learning style, number one, and number two, to modify your instructional techniques, strategies. So it is a scoring tool. मैं इसके बारे में यहाँ पे ज्यादा नहीं बोलूंगा बिकॉज इससे आगे जो आएंगी स्लाइड्स उसमें और भी ज्यादा इससे होगा. ये rubrics जो है we develop on the basis of what exactly is really expected during the instruction, delivery of instruction. What will be the criteria used by the teacher to help both student to focus on learning, teacher to focus on teaching, on what is valued in a specific subject, topic, activity, whatsoever it is. So it is a scoring guide sort of thing. अभी कई तरीके के दो तरीके के rubrics होते हैं, उसमें आपको पता चलेगा गाइड कैसे होता है. So it is a assessment tool and it is tailored to each assignment. Writing assignment के लिए अलग है, grammar, mathematics, geography अलग अलग है. सबके examples we will be discussing one by one. Just only one or two examples we will discuss, and you will come to know exactly in details as to how you can modify or create rubric for your subject. But the thing is that it will be very much useful for the students, because looking at that rubric sheet, the assessment sheet, they can learn exactly what is expected of them. So they perform, then they self-assess to improve their personal performance and learning. And literally, I tell you, this is a very good, one of the best anecdotal records hai, portfolios hai, rubrics hai. These are all assessment tools. The best one is this, jahan par you create such an environment beforehand that students are also clear what is expected. Teacher is also clear what is to be delivered. So there are three major components. Number one is criteria. Say, for example, I give you criteria. The performance is running. And everybody, each one of you might have heard the story of turtle and rabbit. Now the criteria is who reaches first, number one. Another criteria may be who is running fast. Number three is who reaches the target first or last.
रात में आते घूम घूम के कि मम्मी ने भी वो पहले ही कभी आई थी एक दो दिन के तभी घूमा था तो हमारा मोस्ट.
So the first is criteria. अभी जैसे हम लोग पहले देखते थे शादी के टाइम में जो लड़के वाले आते थे वो कहते थे बहू जरा एक पापड़ सेक के लाओ. अब वो क्या क्राइटेरिया था उनका कि पापड़ पूरा अच्छी तरीके से फ्राई हो गया दोनों तरफ से कि नहीं, देन वो जला तो नहीं, काला तो नहीं हुआ, टेस्ट में कैसा है, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. सो नंबर ऑफ क्राइटेरियाज आर देयर. Level of performance, because we decide beforehand up to what expectation what is our expectation for the child to reach, the degree to which the student is expected to meet a given criteria. So that way we decide about the level of performance. And then descriptors. अभी मैं आपको descriptors बताऊंगा. ऐसे अगर define करूंगा, there is no exact definition exactly what it is to be, but I'll give you examples. A lot of examples will be there. Now the next one is there are two types of rubrics. The first is analytic and another one is holistic. Now what are they? You see, analysis, the word analysis itself says breakdown into different components, and then each component you analyze or assess. Repeatedly I am telling, don't get confused with any of the things because the number of examples I will discuss, so you will be clarified about what exact the words is. अच्छा, holistic word क्या होता है? Holistic means as a whole. The criteria are kept in the mind of assessor or the teacher, but it is the report is given as a whole. Next is analytic rubric. You see, this type of a rubric gives you level of performance for each criteria. Say for example, I am giving definition. I am giving an dictation. What criteria you can keep? Number one is keeping the pace with teacher. Number two, handwriting. Number three, authenticity of the handwriting, whether you can understand the word or not. Number four, spellings. Number five, grammatical mistakes. While listening, the student might gather some information which you might not have said. So number of criteria can be there. And then the teacher assesses level of performance. Handwriting, good. Authentic, understandable. So there is specific feedback on several dimensions. That is analytic rubric. अब इसके advantage तो होते हैं because it gives us useful feedback on all the things, that is across our strengths and across our weakness. Both the things can be analyzed, and then criteria can be weighed to reflect the relative importance of each dimension. Handwriting is good, but speed is not. Speed is good, but handwriting is not. So on and so forth. But the disadvantage, सबसे बड़ी बात इसमें ये है कि when you decide the criteria, it may take a longer time, more time to develop than holistic. Holistic में तो आपने criteria का सिर्फ topics लिखे, keep them in the mind, and then observe, analyze, means observe, and then write your observation. That's all. But over here, each criteria has to be assessed. Level of performance, extent of performance, and so on. Now, if there are a number of performers or analyze वो
उद्या पण 10 वाजता पण तिचं मी रजिस्ट्रेशन नाही केलं. होऊच नाही शकणार, उगाच कशाला पोचबाजी करायची.
अब मैं आपको एक बात बताऊं. एज ए प्रिंसिपल व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू डेवलप दिस rubrics for the selection of books. On what criteria you should choose out of 4 or 5 publishers. I used to create a rubric and give it to the department head. He will distribute to the teachers, and each teacher will analyze or assess the book on different criteria. Say for example, language, spelling mistake, illustrations, back questions, and then question bank or worksheet. 5 things. Find out. And each one will be giving their feedback to the HOD, and HOD will compile the result and come up with the final result. Okay, sir, such and such publisher is the best one as per these 5 teachers. So I never used to interfere in those decisions, because you are subject master. You know what exactly is required. So that way you can use rubric for a number of purposes. Next one is holistic rubric. Now, what is holistic rubric? It is performance across multiple criteria as a whole. That this is what I told you. Criteria will be there, defined by the teacher, but they will not be analyzed or assessed separately. As a whole, सिंगल डायमेंशन, फीडबैक होना डिफाइंड वन। इसका एडवांटेज क्या है कि ये डेवलप करने के लिए इट टेक्स मिनिमाइज टाइम एंड इट कैन बी अप्लाइड कंसिस्टेंटली बाय द ट्रेन्ड रेटर्स। रिलायबिलिटी इसकी ज्यादा होगी। डिसएडवांटेज क्या है? बेस्ट डिस्क्रिप्टर्स यूज करना, जरा वो सिलेक्ट करना, इट विल बी अ लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट टू चूज द बेस्ट डिस्क्रिप्टर्स and specifically when there are varied type of learners. Slow learners are there, intelligent learners are there, those who are solitary learners, they come prepared beforehand. So number of things are there, and then criteria cannot be weight कैसे करेंगे उनका? They cannot be weighted differently because criteria are 5 criteria, but we cannot come across with the different ones. As a whole we are analyzing or assessing. पर्पस क्या होता है इसका? टू ग्रेड। अभी क्या पर्पस है आपके ये, why you want the rubric, whether it is for grading students assignment, project, homework, classwork, whatever it is, or you are utilizing this rubric to provide the feedback to the student as to what type of learner he is, where his more emphasis should be, handwriting पे होना चाहिए, comprehension पे, grammar में, handwriting में, what are the things, and or both. First you grade the student assignment or project or homework or classwork or class test, oral test, chalk and board test, and then provide feedback. दोनों के दोनों काम. What type of rubric then do you prefer? Whether you want to use analytic rubric, so then you provide student feedback also and detailed score, or do you need a holistic rubric to allow for the broad feedback and overall sense of the student's performance? Next one is benefits. Benefits आपको मैंने पहले भी बताया है, अभी बोल रहा हूँ. Clarify the vague and fuzzy goals. Next is understand your experience about the student and help students understand your expectation, both the ways. Then they help student to self-assessment and improve, self-improve. Then inspire them, the students, to perform better because they know different criteria are there. On what criteria I am down, so I have to improve on that particular part. It makes scoring easier and faster, accurate, unbiased, and consistent. Because every time criteria is, level is, everything is well defined beforehand. Then improve feedback to the students, and it reduces arguments. It improves feedback to faculty and staff, both. Next is why use rubrics for teachers. मैंने बताया teachers के लिए benefits क्या है. I have just now told you what are the benefits for the teachers and for the students. There they clarify the teachers' expectation, informative descriptors of expected performance, and they help to monitor and critique own work. Now, characteristics are, they are well defined. They clearly describe the expected. Analytic rubric I am talking about. Holistic rubric mein you are assessing different criteria, but your assessment will be as a whole. Sum total of whatsoever your observations are, and then provide your observations. So they avoid general evaluative words like poor, excellent, good, very good, average. Such type of things are not there. You have to have points over there. मैं बताऊंगा अभी आपको एग्जाम्पल में, 2 एग्जाम्पल्स दूंगा it will be very much clear to you. And then they use specific objectives. अभी मैंने पहले भी बोला है, clear performance. Next is context specific होते हैं ये. A good rubric is content specific. What the teacher expects from the student and what student knows for the purpose of self-assessment as to what teacher is expecting from me. So that is viable for instruction. Finite and exhaustive. That is scoreable or measurable. Too many score levels are confusing, and generally we keep only for the learning progression from 1 level to 2, level 3, level 4, and top level 5. 4 or 5 levels of learning targets generally we use, and then relate to common core theme or strand. देखिए आगे एनालिटिक रूब्रिक का एग्जाम्पल. कंपोनेंट में टास्क डिस्क्रिप्शन, असेसमेंट क्राइटेरिया, परफॉर्मेंस लेवल. अब हम क्राइटेरिया में ये देखिए, मेरा मार्कर आप देख रहे होंगे, ये यहाँ पर क्राइटेरिया है. तो क्राइटेरिया में हमने क्या लिखना है? नंबर 1 लेवल पे, नंबर 2 लेवल पे, नंबर 3, 4. These are 4 points, 4 point system. This rubric is 4 point system. We are not writing poor, good, average, excellent. We are giving them points. 5 mistakes, 1 point. 4 mistakes, 2 points. 3 mistakes, 3 points. 2 mistakes, 4 points. No mistakes, 5 points. Next is holistic. Holistic में हम ये लिखते हैं overall descriptors as to what exactly is written. Overall description 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Generally, there cannot be any holistic rubric unless and until you are very much target-oriented lesson. If you have got target-oriented lesson, then certainly you will be able to create. But it is difficult to create such a criteria that is overall descriptors and then explain to you without any context. You see, four key stages in creating rubric is: number 1 is reflection on task. What is intended to be taught? What is the purpose of assessment? And what we want the students to perform. Then listing the learning outcomes, particular details of the learning outcomes and objectives. अभी आपके पास 2 एग्जाम्पल्स आएंगे, तभी आपको पता चलेगा कि डिटेल्स में हमने क्या लिखना है. Then grouping and labeling the outcomes or criteria, which means organizing the result, grouping similar expectations together or the different ones, segregate them. Finally, we use a rubric design template. बहुत तरीके के आते हैं, but it is very easy to learn. If you learn 2, 3, 4 rubrics right in the beginning, मैं आपको recording आज रात तक इसकी share कर दूंगा in the group, or tomorrow morning, right, first thing. So you will be able to just see what are the different criterias, how we organize the similar expectations, and then give them points, and then come to the conclusion. So designing is very important. और कोई difficult नहीं है. 1, 2, 4, maximum 5 templates. If you study them carefully, you will be able to, the concept will be clear in your mind. And when the concept is clear, then once in 15 days or in a month, you develop one rubric for internal assessment. Go. On And once you understand the concept, then you can develop any type of rubric, any time for any type of assessment throughout the month. Say, for example, the first one. You see over here, it is digestive system. Construct a model of digestive system using clay and household items. Use original material, not a store-bought model, to construct the system. Digestive system construct करने के लिए आपने एक project दिया है. Now, we have got 4 criteria. First is material. Second is component. Third is labels. And fourth one is originality. I'll be just taking up 2, 3, 4 criteria from this and give you. Now material is, you see the first one, material. 5 points वाले में देखिए, the material used by the student do not resemble parts of the organs system at all. Similar material and color used for all parts. Whereas on the left hand side, if you see 20 points, all material used resemble the organ or the system. Now digestive system, if you are to represent kidney, so you can utilize kidney beans. As simple as that. Even without label, they are obvious what these parts, what part they represent. Now say for example label. In the 5 points, all components are neatly labeled. Kidney beans, and then there is a mark written kidney, labeled. In 10 points, you see some components are not labeled or labeled incorrectly. They are illegible, they are messy, the handwriting is not understandable, authentic, and so on. So this way, you can develop one rubric for the project to develop a model on digestive system. Another one for geography people. Give them a map, political map. Give them a map and ask the child to locate yourself. Now locate yourself doesn't mean just only myself, put a point over here, I am here. Which means exact point in the area or municipality, then district, then state, then country, then continent. 5 things are there. I drew all 6 areas. Me, my city, my state, my country, my continent, the world. अभी इसमें म्यूनिसिपैलिटी की जगह ये लिख दिया. This might be utilized for self-assessment. Why? Because over here I am using the first person, I. C for the color and label. 3 points में आप देखिए, it is written, I colored most of the areas and colored most of the things. Say for example, I am over here in Ghaziabad. I will be putting up first thing, my location in green. Then landmark near Khetan Public School. Behind Karan Gate Chowki. Near GT Road. District Ghaziabad. State Uttar Pradesh. Country India. Simple. This you will get in the recording. I am telling you either today evening, night, by night, or tomorrow morning first thing. Now number line. Mathematics के लिए number line. You just see very carefully. If you see directions, 1 point के लिए does not follow directions. Draw a number line with a difference of 0.5. Now the number line consists of 0. On the left hand side, it is -1, -2, -3, and so on. On the right hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now number line is not need. Fourth component C. Number line is not or incorrectly labeled. Is not neat. Rough hands. Simple without using scale. So it is not neat. So 1 point. Over here you will see, you might have observed till now that there is no 0 point, which means not a single child will be 0. Or you say a non-learner. Each and every child is a learner. They learn something. They know what is a line, but probably they don't use the geometrical equipments for drawing a line. Even if you don't have a scale, you can still utilize the cover of a copy, notebook, book to draw a straight line. And number 3 criteria in the same thing, number line is neat, but some numbers are not clear or correctly labeled. I have told you draw a number line with a difference of 0.5 each. So obviously, if you are using scale, then you can utilize 0.1, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and so on. But if you don't have any scale, then keeping just only your focused vision or eyes on the number line, you approximate that. This might be 0.5, this might be 1, this might be 1.5, then 2, then 2.5, then 3. And sometimes that distance between the 2 points may vary. So that way we say the number line is clear, neat, but some numbers are not clearly or correctly labeled. I hope so. Okay, up to this point, everything is clear. Then we go for the last example of the day, English. Using verbs in the sentence. Now subject or verb agreement. When we say the verb correctly matches the action being performed in the picture. You show them a picture, an image, and ask them, what is Ram doing? What is Sham doing? One is playing, one is reading, and so on. Action words are verbs. So you will write, Ram is playing. Sham is writing. Instead of reading, he wrote writing. So they don't perform the picture. And that way, it will be 1 point. They do not match the performance in the picture. Similarly, grammar. I have written over here a wrong spelling of grammar. Now it is right. Sentence is correctly written with no errors at all, which means grammar is also utilized properly. Comprehension is also good. The words are also good. And the last one you see, sentence has 3 or more grammatical errors or spelling errors. Spelling errors may be spelling errors. So then you will say that there are errors. And then analytic rubric. This is analytic rubric. Different criteria, level of performance is there, and then you sum them up. 3 points, 2 points, needs improvement. You say, don't say below average, average, or poor, or something. You will write needs improvement. So over here, this is all about rubrics. You will get probably this recording by today evening. I will stop sharing now. And if you have got any questions in your mind, please put on your videos and you may ask now. Because this is the recording for the purpose of attendance also. You can just unmute yourself. No issues, Rituji. Even if you joined late, but at least you learned something. Otherwise, all the things will be available to you. Now you can unmute yourself. I'm requesting everybody, if you are interested to ask something which you could not understand, एक बार में समझ में नहीं आएगा. Not in one go. You will have to take time to repeat, to see this recording twice or thrice. But don't go for whole recording in one go. Just watch out for 15 minutes, stop it, revise in your mind, and then take some time break, and then go for second vision, then third. Similarly, start developing your own rubric for your own purpose on the same criteria. Once you have learned, you will be able to develop it very easily. Just I told you, no, I utilize these rubrics for the selection of books. You will never find anywhere the rubric for book selection in a school. Tejaswini Nerurkar, yes, she has also come. Anyway, whatsoever the time, but at least presence is there. So if there is no questions, there are no answers from anybody, then I will end up this session. Nivedita ma'am, shall I? Because nobody is asking any questions, which means they need revision for the purpose of asking questions. And if you have got any doubts in your mind in future also, you can write to me directly in WhatsApp, and I will be very happy to give you the response.
Yeah, actually, nobody wants to ask any. I think it was self-explanatory. So we can end the session then.
Yes, ma'am. So you are host now, so you can end it up, or shall I?
Yeah, I can end the meeting now.
हाँ, recording तो मैं यहाँ पे कर ही रहा हूँ.
Yes.
Yeah.
So may I end it now?
Oh yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.
Very good night, ma'am.